Exactly. Like I don't know if I can do this anymore.
Bro, yeah, bro. Sorry, I'm done with the pod. 5 months in, I'm done.
I'm really self-conscious now. I'm just not comfortable on the mic. Now we got like the new lights and everything.
Now you can see me.
Now you can really see me in like HD, and I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. I'm already getting roasted for my appearance on the TikTok.
Sorry, bro.
Jeremy's out here getting called handsome. I'm out here getting comments like "nice hairline, bud. You look like the soy jack meme," which is a very chronically online thing to say anyway. But like, damn, why you gotta do me like that? You know?
They didn't have to.
They really didn't have to. And it's like after the high of having a video like gain some traction
Almost
for like
10K
the first
views,
time in a while, just bam, just crashing right down, just coming through. She ain't even like the video too. She didn't even follow. She didn't even like the video. She just came in for violence.
That's so disrespectful. Oh my
And that's
God.
it, bro. But anyway, you remember our governor here in Michigan, Governor Whitmer,
Yeah.
the one that was almost kidnapped.
I do recall that.
Okay. Well, she came through and did something kind of cool last Friday.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Our very own Republican state legislature decided they wanted to introduce a bill that would forgive some of the penalties imposed on businesses for, like not following COVID restrictions.
That sounds like a really great way to incentivize honorable behavior when it comes to a pandemic.
Yeah, I love that. I love that this legislature really wanted to forgive those businesses for breaking public health rules during a public health crisis, and also like wanted to forgive. I'm assuming that PPP violations were in there.
Yeah,
because most
definitely.
of these motherfuckers did some bad shit when it comes to PPP.
Oh yeah,
They fired their workers and took the loans anyway.
you said it was for small businesses or just business in general?
Businesses.
Okay, fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, so for Dow Chemical.
Right,
you
so
know?
GM is just getting...
GM, Dow Chemical. What the fuck else? There's like I think there's like a little Pfizer thing here in like Kalamazoo too.
All of the major automobile industry
Yeah,
is just like sitting
literally.
in Michigan, yeah.
So fucking dumb, dude. It's like I love that they want to do that, but people are still being like hunted down for quote unquote fraudulent unemployment claims.
Yes.
Even though our state halfway through unemployment changed what like qualifies
Yeah.
and applied that retroactively.
I was just about to say they applied it retroactively so that they can hunt people down and be like, this is your fault. When it's like, you fumbled your own bag.
Yeah.
Get out of my pockets, state of Michigan.
And it's
you know
like,
what I'm saying?
It's like, to be fair, Whitmer came through and said that like, no, you're not going to have to pay it back. But motherfuckers are having to pay it back.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was purely lip. And so that's why she's had a bad taste in my mouth.
And it's not even pay back the amount that you were given, but pay back like 300% of
Yeah,
what they
it's-
gave
it's
you.
It's fucking
like,
stupid.
It's like, first of all, if I'm on unemployment, I didn't have that money to begin with.
Literally.
Like,
it is gone.
I don't have 300% to pay you back with. And also, the money that you did give me on unemployment, it's gone.
Yeah.
I paid for transportation. I paid for food, housing, etc.
Stupid.
But where's my forgiveness for like student loans or
Facts.
medical bills?
Facts.
Or unemployment, like
Speaking of
predatory
forgiveness-
unemployment payments.
Speaking of forgiveness for student loans, literally never.
Oh yeah, no, it's not happening.
Literally never. Not through bankruptcy, not through nothing.
Not through President Joe Biden.
Oh my
Not through Congress
God,
either, because
dude.
that's never gonna happen.
No, even though it was a campaign promise, but I'm not salty about it.
Yeah. Even though it was a campaign promise, and now Democratic strategists are just very confused as to why they're losing elections now all of a sudden.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're very confused as to why written in the Democratic Party platform they have it that education should be like available and accessible to everybody, yet they don't deliver.
Available and accessible for everybody that can pay for it.
Yeah, even though they have all three prongs of the government.
Yeah.
They have everything that they need to get anything they want done right now.
Yep.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah. And going back to Whitmer, she's coming up for an election in 2022. We're going to have to, there's going to be a primary.
That's primary her.
Well, yeah. Head in the office. We'll run on a slate if we're going to primary her. No.
Write us in if you live in Michigan.
She'll win her primary election. Maybe she'll run against John James again or some shit.
Oh my God, dude.
But we'll see how that goes.
Maybe
And I'm thinking it might not be good for her, but we'll see.
Maybe John James will lose his fourth election.
Oh, facts. That dude can't win anything.
It's been close though. He's been getting there.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if he took the seat. And when's she up for the re-election? 24?
No, 2022. Next year.
She's up for re-election next year?
Yeah, that's what I said. She was elected in 2018, 4-year terms.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, she's up for re-election in 22, and she'll probably win, but there's a lot of people that don't like her, low-key.
She'll probably, you know what? I can't even say in good faith that she'll probably win because I honestly don't know.
Well, I mean, in the converse, based on what happened in Virginia.
That's what I'm thinking of. That's exactly why.
I would say Whitmer's a more likable candidate than McAuliffe was, but
I don't know.
Based on like her performance, like I've agreed with a lot of her pandemic restrictions, but she's just been getting tossed around by the Republican legislature, and that's not even her fault.
And like she's also been just slandered in the media.
Yeah.
Like now, when I'm watching Fox News, like for fun, you know, when I'm watching Fox News, I see her thrown in with Newsom and what was Cuomo.
Oh, yikes. Not a great group to be thrown in with.
Whoa.
And they still consider Michigan a purple state, bro.
Fucking stupid, bro.
It's
We
not a
still be
purple state.
flip-flopping like that. But
I
like,
know.
speaking to that, there are a lot of regular people that I know that were pissed off at some of her pandemic restrictions.
Yeah.
Like closing off paint aisles in Walmart.
Yeah.
Like,
or
that shit was kind of just dumb.
When she said, you can't go, I don't even know if this is a real restriction, but I remember seeing this like in the headlines, like you can't go out on your boat. And then she went out on her boat. Or her husband
literally
did.
like the next day.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great. And after the Virginia loss, I'm not hopeful.
Yeah.
Really not.
Don't call me a Democratic hopeful.
Exactly,
I'm not.
bro. I'm a doomer. I'm a doomer and a coomer.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I hope you're ready for a good episode. We got a whole lot planned. We got to talk about vaccine mandate news. It's been challenged in court, unsurprisingly, like we mentioned last week.
And then speaking of courts.
Oh, speaking of court.
We have the hottest murder trial of the month.
We got to talk about Kyle Rittenhouse, who's definitely not a murderer or anything. Had no intent to do any of that.
Yeah, definitely not a fucking really bad dude.
And then we'll close out on some protests in Poland.
Some international news.
We are international now.
We're international now. Shout out Lalo.
According to our previous review, we're international now. Speaking of reviews, though.
We got a new one?
I got a new one right here.
No, you're lying.
Subject line, funny and informational. 5-star review. Written by Master of the Cook.
Okay.
They say, for someone indoctrinated in neoliberal politics who wants to become more informed in progressive and leftist policies,
okay,
this podcast is great.
No way.
Fact-checked everything I could. They know their stuff.
No way.
That's what I said.
No way.
We got fact-checkers and we're right.
That's crazy, bro. I don't lie to y'all.
Because I do
my best.
I just be spitting. I don't know if it's right. I don't research anything. I don't even have. So, I say show notes sometimes. There's nothing in front of me. It's a blank doc. I just be talking.
Yeah, I'm just talking the whole time. I'm just remembering all these numbers that
Facts.
I'm pulling up, calculating it. You know how I say sometimes, let me calculate this real quick?
Yeah.
I'm doing it in my head. I'm not
Facts.
even doing it on a calculator.
Oh, yeah. When I read quotes from articles, it's always just remembering what just happened.
Naturally,
or what I read like 4 days ago.
1000%. When I'm talking about the Rittenhouse stuff later on, it's just me just having all that footage burned into my mind.
It's just a film reel in the back of my head.
We definitely don't have 9 pages of show notes in front of us every episode.
Anyways, welcome back to the show, everybody. If you want to help out the show, you know where to go. Check out the Patreon, YouTube, TikTok, all of our stuff.
You know,
give us some engagement, some likes,
throw some
subscribe.
Support on the recent TikTok because I don't understand that goddamn app.
Yeah, exactly. TikTok be messing with us
not
sometimes. All right, well, I think we should jump right into the news coverage.
Okay.
First thing we got to talk about is the vaccine mandate. So, as you all know, Biden, like a month ago or in September, something like that, he issued a vaccine mandate for businesses with over 100 employees. They all had to be vaccinated, or the requirement was that you had to be tested weekly. I think it was.
Yeah.
But last week, as we mentioned, that mandate is being challenged in court.
Oh, yeah.
And it turns out the challengers won for the time being.
Challenger was upheld.
Yeah.
By the New Orleans 5th Circuit Court.
Yeah.
5th Circuit of Appeals.
The story goes that Utah filed a lawsuit in court along with Mississippi, Texas, and South Carolina. The mandate was issued on September, like I said, and Biden was trying to enforce it through OSHA, and the mandate was going to cover 84 million Americans. So it's going to be making sure that 84 million Americans were either vaccinated or being tested as they go into their workplace. And they were also going to be mandated to receive paid time off if they went and get vaccinated. So that was sick.
Sounds great.
Yeah, that was sick. But of course, one of the most conservative courts in the nation,
Literally
most conservative appeals court in the nation.
The most conservative appeals court.
They said no. And I got a couple quotes here from Judge Kurt Engelhardt. This is his the opinion that he read.
That just sounds like a racist name.
Oh, I bet he
That's
is.
going to be a theme going forward, by the way.
Yeah,
so.
some of these quotes are absolutely putrid. Let's go over them.
Okay.
So first one, this is a part of the official court opinion, by the way. The mandate is staggeringly overbroad. The mandate is a one-size-fits-all sledgehammer that makes hardly any attempt to account for differences in workplaces and workers that have more than little bearing on workers' varying degree of susceptibility to the supposedly, quote-unquote, grave danger the mandate purports to address.
Supposed grave danger? Bro just gave away the game right there with that one line.
You cannot tell me for one fucking second that these courts are apolitical bodies.
Bro, how'd you go to law school?
How?
How'd you make it through law school and you're this fucking stupid?
Yes. No, that's actually the theme, is that how did these judges get to their positions if they're so dumb?
They went through like law school, then they went to like judge school too, which apparently is a fucking thing.
Yeah.
And they're still this stupid. Like, bro, I got a podcast. I'm an undergrad.
They went to law school, judge school, and they had to get appointed by an actual politician that was elected.
Literally.
And they're still this dumb. Like,
Bro.
come on, bro.
And it's like, that's the thing. That's the thing right there. They have to be appointed by a politician.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot tell me that an apolitical body can be spawned from a political body appointing it.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a single. They're like, dude, literally, these presidents, like the people who are appointing these justices, are political figures.
Yeah.
That's not up for debate.
Yeah.
That's just how it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would they appoint someone apolitically? It's not in their best interest politically to do so.
You're going to tell me that when Trump appointed his 3 Supreme Court justices, that none of them had political biases?
You're telling me they just happen to be the best for the job?
Yeah. You can't make the claim that the Supreme Court or any other court is insulated from politics.
Facts.
Nothing is insulated from politics, Brett.
Literally.
Like, that's such a liberal take. Is that the Supreme Court is somehow... Like, it's the same argument they make, like, about other areas of life that are supposed to be private, like how the economy is supposed to be separate from politics. Like, no, it's all the same.
It's all intimately intertwined.
Yeah, exactly. It has to be.
I fucking hate it, bro. This is just a hate on the judiciary podcast now. Mm-hmm. I swear to God, we got like 3 episodes just talking shit.
Yeah.
Because it's bad. It's bad. And like, I don't see that take too often, that these aren't apolitical bodies.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people think it. Like, I'm obviously never had an original thought in my entire life.
Oh, yeah. This is
you know
just
what I mean?
Us regurgitating takes we found elsewhere.
Yeah, I've probably heard it somewhere else, but it's like, I feel strongly about it.
Yeah.
Because I continuously hear, no, the courts are apolitical. Come on, they're appointed for life. That's why. And it's like, that's an issue because Trump appointed young justices.
And honestly, there's a lot of political commentary on the legislative body and the executive branch, like naturally, but I don't see much coverage on what the judicial branch does ever.
I got this project that I got to do for my my computer science class, right? Where I have to dive in and do a data science project. And originally I wanted to do something cool and interesting that I could like use for the pod. But that ended up being too hard, spoiler alert, so I resorted to something really dumb, easy anyway. But anyway, back to my point.
Yep.
In doing research initially, I went and looked through voting records to see like exactly what had been voted on for like the past 4 months.
Yeah.
Most of them are judicial appointments.
Yeah.
It's literally it.
They get shuffled through every fucking day.
Pretty much. That's what it feels like. They get shuffled through every day. And this is under Biden, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was an abnormal number, and that was a lot. Trump holds the record for judicial appointments.
Yeah.
And he appointed young people. You cannot tell me that that's apolitical. Bro literally just lucked into ramming conservative justices into the judiciary for like our lifetime.
Yeah, I don't know how old like Amy Coney Barrett or Brett Kavanaugh is, but I would be willing to bet they're among the youngest Supreme Court justices appointed. Yeah.
Ever.
Because they're going to be there for the rest of our life. Like, they might not get off the Supreme Court until we retire.
I very well might die before they get off the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And meanwhile, we can't even get like the 80-year-old Justice Stephen Breyer to retire.
Fuck
during
that guy, bro. We couldn't get RGB to retire.
Exactly.
Oh my.
Like we're screwed forever, and these Supreme Court justices, or like even any justice, just stays forever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you have some hope when it comes to state Supreme Court, because a lot of the time those are elected. Well, maybe not even a lot of time, but they're overseen by different political bodies. And at least in Michigan, we elect our Supreme Court justices. Yeah. But like at the national level, the only way that we can impact the Supreme Court is by who we elect as senator. Mm-hmm. Like, that's it.
Which is crazy. And the only hope that we really have in electing who we want as senator is that they will just pull a Mitch McConnell and stop the appointment.
Yeah.
Be it under a conservative president. Which, if Breyer doesn't retire in this next year, Breyer got to retire. You know what I mean? If Breyer doesn't retire within this next year, I have no faith that we will be able to ever have the judiciary again.
Oh, we won't.
Because
Not
if
in our lifetime.
we're losing the Senate. I've already accepted it. We're losing the Senate. We might as well lose the House too. We're probably gonna lose the House.
We're holding on to the House by like a ball hair.
And
Straight up.
we lost seats. Not any progressive seats, mind you. We lost shitty neoliberal seats.
Mm-hmm.
And we're losing neoliberal senators. Because, of course we are. They fucking suck. Liberal hypocrisy is ruining the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so once 2022 comes around and we lose that, I wouldn't be surprised if Mitch McConnell just stops any appointment.
He's going to be able to.
He literally will.
But like, honestly, like I said, the only way that we as voters really have a way to impact the Supreme Court is through our senators. But what political repercussions has a senator ever faced from voting like in a bad way on a judicial appointment?
Nothing.
You never hear about them. You hear about the Supreme Court nominations because those are usually pretty big news. But even then, like, what are we going to do to like Debbie Stabenow if she votes badly on a judicial appointment?
No,
like, she's still going to win her primary. Nobody's going to beat her.
You're not going to do anything. Nobody gives a shit about those issues.
Exactly.
Nobody even gives a shit about the Garland nomination.
Yeah.
Under Obama.
Yeah.
Obama literally a year before his presidency ended tried to appoint Merrick Garland, and Mitch McConnell left the court vacant for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Left a vacancy a whole entire year.
But it's an apolitical body.
Yeah, it's entirely apolitical.
And even though Ruth Bader Ginsburg died and Trump's closing months towards an election that he lost, he still got to appoint Amy Coney Barrett.
Yep.
The fastest judicial appointment ever, I think.
No, it was. And he was already out.
Yeah.
He was already fucking out.
But it's an apolitical body.
Yeah. They don't mess with politics.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so the next quote we got from Judge Englehart, in his opinion, official court opinion, I will remind you.
Okay.
He says, in defending the mandate before this court, the government credits OSHA with describing myriad studies showing workplace COVID-19 clusters and outbreaks and other significant evidence of workplace transmission and exposure. But this misses the mark, as OSHA is required to make findings of exposure or at least the presence of COVID-19 in all covered workplaces, and all was italicized, by the way.
Wait, what does he mean by that?
Let me finish, and you'll see. Of course, OSHA cannot possibly show that every workplace covered by the mandate currently has COVID-positive employees.
You're kidding.
Or that every industry by the mandate has or will have outbreaks. This kind of overbreadth plagues the mandate generally.
You literally can. You literally can prove that.
Yeah.
With statistics.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry. You can literally prove it's a statistical improbability that most workplaces will not be affected by COVID-19.
Yeah.
You're just fucking dumb, bro.
No, yeah, the whole point of this little section was he was saying that because you can't prove that every single individual workplace will have COVID or had COVID at some point, this mandate can't apply.
This is a thing that I was going to get into with the Rittenhouse trial, but I'll just get into it now.
Yeah.
Lawyers and judges are just professional debate lords.
Yeah.
I'm convinced of it. Because,
Us too.
Yeah. Especially when we meet new people. But watching that Rittenhouse trial and like watching these people give their opinions, they will take one fucking word out of context and literally just string it and just turn it into something that it was not.
Mm-hmm.
They will take just any little piece of minutia and spin the whole entire narrative.
Yeah.
And that's what they get paid to do. Like, that's the purpose of them within our society.
Yeah.
It's fucking... Dude, I'm getting sick of the judiciary.
See, this is really dumb. Especially the quote that I just read is dumb because when has a law ever needed to apply to every single person always?
Yeah.
When has it ever needed to cover everybody? It doesn't. Mm-hmm. Like, are you going to say like, well, this construction site didn't have any head damages, so you don't need to wear hard hats?
No, literally, you cannot prove that every construction site will have workplace injuries.
Yeah. You can't.
What the fuck?
Are you going to say like, well, this workplace hasn't had any forklift accidents, so they don't need certification anymore?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Imagine somebody saying this in the 1920 influenza outbreak.
Yeah. No, that's how we're going to look back on this in 50 years. We're going to be like, oh my God, wow, these judges were really cool and good.
I can't wait to be on the pod in 50 years. Look through my early show notes, see this, and think, yeah, I was entirely fucking right.
Yeah, exactly. I've always been right, demonstrably.
Yeah, honestly.
All right, the last quote I have here, he says, at the same time, the mandate is also under-inclusive. The most vulnerable worker in America draws no protection from the mandate if his company employs 99 workers or fewer. This kind of thinking belies the premise that any of this is truly an emergency. So he is saying here that because the mandate doesn't cover every single workplace, 0 to infinite workers, that it is admitting that there is no true emergency.
So,
do you know how diseases spread?
like, not only that, but it's like you literally have two justices with conflicting opinions on this.
Mm-hmm.
They're not entirely like diametrically opposed, but functionally they are. You have one justice saying, "Oh, this isn't wide enough because it literally can't affect everything," and then you have another one saying, "Or no, this is too wide."
Yeah.
Because we can't prove it'll affect anything.
Yeah.
And then you have another justice saying, "Oh, it's not wide enough because it doesn't affect everything."
All in the same opinion.
Yeah. How did these guys work together?
I don't know.
Which one of these motherfuckers was appointed by Ronald Reagan?
But like, even if the mandate covered every single workplace from one worker to infinite number of workers, they would still make the same argument that it's not an emergency.
Oh, yeah.
This point doesn't matter.
He would just repeat the argument that the other justice had.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, like I said, which one of these is appointed by Ronald Reagan, which you may be shocked by, but on the New Orleans Fifth Circuit of Appeals, there are 2 Trump appointees and 1 Ronald Reagan appointee.
Mm-hmm.
How's that motherfucker not dead yet?
But it's an apolitical body.
1000%, bro. Literally the most conservative appellate court in the country.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the last quote I had from the opinion. If you guys want to look at the opinion, it's 22 pages long. It's a lot of nonsense. I could not stand to read through it, but it was pretty terrible. But afterwards, the opinion goes on to argue that it's the state's power to issue mandates, not the federal government. Previous cases that we've mentioned on the pod establish that states are allowed to issue vaccines. And the judge says, in their opinion, that the power doesn't extend to the federal government. And even though OSHA has the power to issue emergency temporary standards, which is what this is, they can't issue mandates, like vaccine mandates. They can't do it.
I love that.
What's the point of OSHA?
Yeah,
like
no, literally.
Like what's the point of any government agency in a time of a pandemic if they can't issue stuff like this?
Like he even cited in his opinion studies that prove this.
Yeah.
But they don't prove it for everything.
Yeah, and I guarantee if the state of Michigan issued a vaccine mandate like exactly like the one Biden did, that'd probably get struck down in court.
1000%, it would be challenged.
Yeah, even though precedent literally says that states have the power to do it, but precedent only matters when it protects capital.
Yeah, which is also pretty dangerous when you look at states like Louisiana. I didn't put this in the show notes because I just saw it before I was coming here. Louisiana just passed a bill saying that no vaccine or mask mandates at all.
Wow.
You can only implement one in your school district if there's an outbreak, and it can only last 2 weeks, and it has to be voted on or some shit.
Voted on by who?
I don't fucking know.
Jesus. Like a referendum, like all voters get to...
Like the school board or some shit.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know. I don't know the exact details of it, but it's fucking atrocious. You can only have it for up to 2 weeks if you have an outbreak in the school.
Yeah, but states' rights, though.
Yeah, states' rights love that.
Yeah, but we want to protect the ability for states to decide how they want to function, except when it goes against what conservatives want.
Yeah, I love when these hog-ass states can do these things, play with their population's lives for political points when they contribute nothing to the economy.
Okay. And we talk about this all the time. Every popular policy that Democrats or progressives try to implement always will disproportionately help red states.
Yep.
Every single time, because the good policies, the ones that we advocate for, are aimed at helping those in poverty.
Yeah.
And red states are in poverty.
I mean, for the sake of argument with COVID-19, sure, maybe these COVID things won't disproportionately help red states because, newsflash, nobody wants to fucking live there.
Yeah.
They're not population centers. Yeah. Although, I think, is Louisiana a port state?
I would think so. I mean, they're on the...
I think they are. There. So, yeah, I guess they do contribute to the economy, but still, they take more than they give.
No, but my point is that in red states, I believe... Actually, I'm pretty sure this is true, at least how it bears out in statistics, is that red states have a much lower rate of vaccination against COVID-19 than blue states do. And while blue states are more populous, which is normal, if you have bigger cities, you're going to have more transmission. That's how diseases work.
People are more clustered.
But in red states, when the vaccine rates are lower, you're also going to have higher degrees of death and hospitalization. So mandates like this are only going to help red states.
Oh my God.
And they're only going to help businesses, by the way.
Yeah.
Because you can't function economically if your workers are dying or are sick from COVID.
If your consumers are dead, nobody will buy your product.
Literally.
And that's the thing. And then they love to cite studies I see this one floating around all the time from Israel. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Israel has a 97% vaccination rate.
Yeah, something it's high.
It's really high. May not exactly be that number. That one guy fact checked me on that.
Oh yeah, facts.
Although I'm not claiming it's fact, but they have a really high vaccination rate, right? Mm-hmm. And conservatives love to cite any outbreak, or maybe it's, I think 70% of their population was vaccinated as of a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But 97% of their COVID cases were amongst vaccinated people.
Right.
I wonder why.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
I wonder why most of their population is vaccinated, you fucking dipshit.
but that's the thing, is the conservative logic when it comes to COVID has so many holes in it, because they're saying things like, well, the vaccines don't work, but also COVID isn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But also masks are infringing on my freedoms, but also COVID is only killing vaccinated people. Like it's none of the logic makes any sense.
But also the vaccine is really cool because Trump got it to us in record speed.
Yeah.
But I don't trust it because it was given to us in record speed.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? Come on.
The logic is nowhere to be found. And I just want to remind some people of where we are with COVID-19 right now.
Ooh.
In the face of this mandate probably being dissolved, it'll probably go to another court to be rechallenged again. But for right now, since the court struck it down, it's not going to be in place. So let me just remind you all where we are with COVID. Right now in the United States, we have in total since the beginning of the pandemic, 761,000 deaths from COVID-19. We have 46.9 million cases over the length of the pandemic.
Oh my God.
We just got off another case and death peak, with the 7-day average for deaths being over 1,000 right now.
That's like 15% of the population has gotten COVID-19.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And as of today, 11/12,
Okay.
or actually no, today's the 14th.
Yeah.
Well, as of the time that I wrote this, which was November 12th.
Yeah.
Only about 59% of the country is fully vaccinated. And the FDA, I think it was the FDA or CDC, said that we may need boosters soon.
Yeah, it's likely that we need boosters soon.
So with the vaccine mandate going away, our chances of getting out of COVID-19 are looking bleaker and bleaker.
And it's like, here's the thing. There's no mandate yet.
Yeah.
It wasn't even supposed to institute until January 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your freedoms haven't even been trampled on.
Yeah. People are mad, though.
Dude?
People are mad. Wait, I thought it was supposed to go on like, didn't it start like November 5th?
January 4th was when the big one was supposed to start.
Oh, really?
It hadn't even been in effect yet.
Wow. So
people
are
were
just complaining for no reason.
I have seen a lot of funny posts from like hog ass nurses somehow, which is like, how are you a nurse? How did you go through that rigorous education?
Yeah.
And then come out thinking that COVID's not a big deal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where'd you go to school? What's
God.
up with that? You know what I mean? And I've seen a lot of like Facebook groups like, wow, shout out to all the nurses who are brave enough to risk their job for their freedom.
You're just dumb.
Shut the fuck up.
What freedom?
Yeah.
Like what? I see. We've talked about this dichotomy a lot on the pod too. But so many people talk about this is infringing on my freedom, or you're trying to take my freedom away. What freedom do you have in this country?
Exactly.
What freedom are you trying to protect? The freedom to die from COVID-19 or to infect other people? That's not freedom. No, you're not free in the United States. You're not free anywhere under capitalism. You are constrained by your economic ability to achieve, and for so many people, it's minimal.
And even if you were free, your freedoms end when they end another person's freedom.
Yeah.
When they end another person's right to life, then I would say that's a pretty good reason to impede restrictions.
Yeah. You're not free to hurt other people.
Honestly, bro.
Anyway, my summary with this ruling on the vaccine mandate is just that workers getting sick is not only a safety concern in the workplace, but it's also an economic concern. Because like you said, if all your consumers die or become sick or have to start working from home again and can't go in the store, you're not going to make that much money. If your workers get sick, they can't come in and produce profit for you.
Exactly.
Like, it seems like we're in this like phase of capitalism where the lens is so short-sighted. Like, we're not looking into the future whatsoever anymore. We're just looking at the next week, the next month, the next few months of how we can profit the most off of people without even looking long-term of how we're going to make the economy survive. That's where we are now.
No, literally, dude. It's actually ridiculous.
Yeah, that's it. And we're going into holiday season, so that'll be fun.
Oh, I'm going to love all these gatherings, especially considering that there hasn't been the same push that there was this time last year.
Not at all.
About like, please don't gather like really heavily for Thanksgiving this year. Please don't do all that.
And wasn't around like the holiday season or like around New Year's when we had our highest peak of COVID ever.
Oh yeah. Can't wait to see how Florida looks.
We're having like 4,000 deaths a day. That's crazy.
Like, yeah.
That was like last holiday season.
I can't wait to see what Florida's going to look like this holiday season.
Oh, I know.
And then I can't wait to see what Florida's going to look like in, what is it, end of January, end of March? Or no, early March, spring break.
Oh,
college
facts.
spring break.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's just going to be putrid.
See, Florida keeps breaking their own records, and it's so impressive because vaccines exist now. Like, they're breaking their own death records. That is crazy.
Wild, bro.
I gotta love Ron DeSantis, one of the front runners for president, by the way.
For real?
Yeah, for the Republican primary at least.
No.
I can't wait.
I can't wait till that starts.
Oh, Trump DeSantis 2024, baby. Dude. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, I think we could probably move on to another judicial conversation, actually.
I love those.
We gotta talk about the big news this week, which is Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh yeah.
For those that don't know, as many of you may have seen, actually, the Kyle Rittenhouse trial just started last week.
And it's actually set to end tomorrow, Monday the 15th. Yeah, I just saw that today though, so I was like, oh, that's kind of bad timing for us.
Oh, that's okay. There's going to be a verdict tomorrow?
I don't know. I saw that the trial's set to end tomorrow. I don't know if that means like there's going to be a verdict, if the jury is going to take a while to deliberate, but like, yeah, so that's fun. Even though, spoiler alert, you'll see how we feel about it and how we think the case is going to go.
Yeah, okay. Let me give a quick summary for those that aren't familiar with the Kyle Rittenhouse story. So on August 23rd, 2020, when all of the Black Lives Matter protests were happening during the summer of 2020, the police attempted to arrest a man named Jacob Blake for charges of sexual assault, trespassing, and disorderly conduct. Apparently, according to the police story at least, Blake tried to resist arrest, and there was a knife inside of his car. There may or may not have been a knife. Yeah. And then when he tried to get into his car and drive away, he was shot 7 times in the back by the police. Yep. Blake actually survived, but he was paralyzed from the waist down, according to the New York Times. Following the shooting on the 23rd, massive protests erupted, and there was a lot of civil unrest in Kenosha, Wisconsin, which is where it happened. Yeah. And of course, this came after George Floyd was murdered in May, so racial tensions were already high. People were already angry about police brutality.
Was this before or after the Breonna Taylor verdict?
I think this was definitely before the Breonna
little
Taylor
bit before.
verdict.
Oh yeah,
but it was after she was killed.
There was still like tensions high from Breonna Taylor as well.
Yeah,
because we were waiting on the trial.
In the myriad of other black people that were killed by the police.
No, literally.
So as these protests erupted like throughout the week, Kyle Rittenhouse, man of the hour, he crossed state lines coming from Illinois with an automatic rifle to join a group of militia members, basically, and their goal was to protect businesses during the protests.
Businesses that they do not own.
Yes, they just wanted to come and protect businesses. The group was known as, I think the group was known as the Kenosha Guard, although that may have just been a rumor.
So fucking stupid and corny.
But that's the name that I saw, at least on the articles that I read. And they posted on Facebook, any patriots willing to take up arms and defend our city tonight from the evil thugs?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Already very charged.
So Rittenhouse, again, crossed state lines, and he claimed to have been coming to the protest to offer medical supplies to group members.
Keep in mind,
to help people.
The only medical training this kid had was lifeguard training.
Yeah.
That's it. This dude knew CPR.
And he was 17, by the way.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything.
An actual child.
Literally knows nothing.
Yeah.
So the story goes that at one point, there was a gunshot in the air on the night of August 25th. Somebody lunged at Rittenhouse, who he then turned around and shot and killed. And afterwards, Rittenhouse was running away from a group chasing him. And then he shot and killed another person, and then shot another person and only injured that protester. The defense says this is all in self-defense. The prosecution says that he was looking to kill somebody, even though it may have appeared that it was in self-defense. And as the police arrived, they drove directly past him and checked on the wounded and the dead. That's the story just about.
It's not even like that the police arrived. The police were there the whole time watching this happen.
Oh, yeah.
Is the thing. And then he walked to the police line with his gun out, and they're like, yeah, bro, just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah. Rittenhouse is being charged with first-degree intentional homicide, attempted first-degree homicide, first-degree reckless homicide, reckless endangerment, and illegally carrying a firearm as a minor. And honestly, I have no confidence that he's going to be charged with any of the homicide stuff.
I don't either.
Not at all.
I think that he's going to get to walk. I'm pretty sure. I want to say I've seen something about how the judge already ruled on the illegally carrying a weapon as a minor.
Okay.
Because apparently there was some loophole in like the Wisconsin law where he could actually like cross state lines with it. I don't exactly know the details of it all, but I'm pretty sure that that's already out of the question.
Yeah.
So that's
Which is kind of fucking insane because he was a minor. He was 17 years old carrying an automatic rifle. But okay.
Yeah. 17 years old carrying a fucking literal
on video,
AR.
There's pictures of it.
Strapped up.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's pretty obvious that he did kill and kill 2 people, seriously injured 1. But like we said, it's doubtful that he's going to get charged with anything. He's probably going to walk.
1000% think he walks.
But the thing, the critiques I have here, at least of the the direct details of the case, is how can it be self-defense if you intentionally went to this place with an automatic rifle?
No, literally.
I don't understand how you can, like, I know there's like stand your ground laws.
Castle doctrine?
Where you can like protect your own property, but he's protecting someone else's property in a state that he did not live in with an automatic rifle.
And that's the thing that I wanted to get into. It's that open carrying has serious implications. Every scenario you find yourself in while open carrying can reasonably, within the realm of like the law in this country, be justified if the encounter turns deadly.
Yeah.
Because the underlying assumption is that if someone is willing to approach you while you have a gun, they are prepared to deal with said gun.
Yeah.
Open carry needlessly escalates every encounter that you get into a deadly force scenario.
Even if you have only a skateboard, like one of the victims did.
No, literally, he was going to hit him with a skateboard.
Yeah, he was going to hit him with a skateboard because dude killed somebody in the street, and he died.
Yeah.
Like, how is that equal? How is that equal in any way? How is that considered self-defense if you're being hit with the skateboard and you can shoot somebody in the fucking head?
No, dude, it's
Jesus
like...
Christ.
I know some states have clauses like your response has to be proportional.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure in Michigan, we have clauses like that where, like, if someone's assaulting you with their hands, you have to retaliate with your hands. You can't pull out a gun and shoot them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which kind of makes sense in most scenarios.
Well, especially in a scenario like this where it's a protest or like there's riots happening, even if you want to be that extreme with your language.
And that's exactly my point.
Yeah.
Is that this is already an emotionally charged area that he willingly inserted himself into.
Yep.
He did not need to be there. He asserted himself into that position
with
a gun. How are you not going to see him as a threat?
Yeah, and I also want to add that days prior, there was a video found of Rittenhouse where he was like sitting outside of some grocery store or something and watching people shoplift, like with a friend or militia member or whatever it was. And you can hear him saying, "Man, I wish I had my my AR right now." And the judge didn't let that video be played because somehow it wasn't relevant.
Yeah, he said, well, people say things all the time.
How is it not relevant that a dude shot and killed 2 people and injured another, and then 3 days before he was saying that he wanted to shoot and kill people?
Literally.
How is that not relevant at all? How is that not relevant? He traveled across state lines to a protest or riots that he knew was going to be a dangerous situation with an automatic rifle, and days prior he said that he wishes he had an automatic rifle to stop people from looting, shoplifting, whatever it was.
Bro was looking for trouble.
He got a legal kill.
Yeah.
He got a legal kill.
What will be a legal kill.
Yeah.
And like we say this as well because like I obviously don't want him to get off.
Yeah.
But I have no faith in our system. There's this great John Oliver special about the castle doctrine. And in it, he details this one case, I believe, in Texas of this man who's in his house and his neighbor is being burgled.
Yeah.
Burgled, not robbed. They weren't home. His neighbors weren't home. People were just stealing things from the house.
Yeah.
He sees them stealing things. He calls the cop and he says, "I'm going to shoot these guys." The cop says,
Christ.
The dispatcher says, "No, please don't do that. You do not need to do that. Everything's okay. We'll be there soon." And he says, "No, I'm going to go do it." Hangs up the phone and shoots both of the burglars in the back. Yeah. Killing both of them. He got off. And then he got like a fucking parade from the NRA.
They're treated as a hero.
It's literal murder.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking disgusting. You can't morally justify that anyway. Just because it's a loophole doesn't mean it's not morally apprehensible.
And these are the same people that make the arguments that the only people that should like be brandishing firearms or the only people that should be enforcing the law are the police.
Yeah.
Like they're all fine with open carry. Like they say that anybody can open carry. They're in support of that, whatever. But they think that cops are the only ones that should be carrying out the law until they want to be vigilante and fulfill their fantasies.
Until they want to be a good guy with a gun.
Yes.
Speaking of good guy with a gun, I saw this great TikTok a couple days ago. Can't remember the username. I've been on that app way too much these last few days. You know what I mean? Can't remember the username. So shout out that guy if you know what I'm talking about. Essentially the thesis of his video was that Grosskreutz, which is the guy who he didn't kill, that had a revolver, approached him with a revolver. He had his hands up, and then he like lowered his arm, right? As maybe to shoot Kyle, maybe not. Kyle's defense was that, he pointed his gun at me, so I shot him. Yeah. Grosskreutz thought that he was a good guy with a gun. Kyle thought that he was a good guy with a gun. Who gets to decide who's the good guy with a gun?
Conservatives, apparently. A judge.
When they're both going to shoot each other. We don't even know if Grosskreutz was going to shoot him.
Yeah.
Because he approached him with his hands up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he thought he was stopping him because from his point of view, Kyle Rittenhouse has just murdered 2 people.
Yes.
Like,
and he did.
He did. Like that's what happened. And even if Grosskreutz saw it and seeing that would have triggered in his mind that was self-defense, he just fucking killed 2 people. Yeah. That he just heard gunshots and 2 people are dead. Yes. What the fuck?
Yeah,
is
you
up
want
with
to talk about like the emotion of the situation? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like for some reason, Kyle Rittenhouse is the only person that gets to feel emotions for what happened. But everybody else that like, because they were like, oh well, there was a mob chasing him. Of course he's gonna shoot people. Like those people don't get to feel emotions after they just saw one of their protesters die in the street.
Literally.
Are you serious?
And that's the thing is, how do they know that guy lunged at Kyle? Yeah. Initially. Yeah. How do they know that? How does anyone who goes to stop this guy do that?
I think there was some video of like the lunge, but I didn't watch it.
It was a skateboard. Kyle had a duty to retreat.
Yeah.
He had a duty to get himself out of there. He had for no reason should he have been in that crowd in the first place. administering medical attention. You know that that's just a fucking ploy so we can get in there and kill somebody.
Yeah. And I was going to make this point a little bit later on, but I'll make this point now, is that there was almost an identical case of this before. In Portland, Oregon, Michael Reinhold, he was a left-wing protester. He claimed to be like a part of Antifa. He did almost the same thing Kyle Rittenhouse did, but it was reversed.
Yeah.
He shot, I think it was like a Proud Boys member, and killed him in the street. It was murder. Like, he killed this man.
Yeah.
But Michael Reinhold didn't get to face trial. He was assassinated by federal agents days later.
Oh, yeah.
He was in his house, and federal agents pulled up on him at the direction of Donald Trump and killed him.
It was like a bunch of them, too.
Yeah.
And they lit up his place.
Yes. Yeah, he got extrajudicially murdered.
Absolutely. Like, and then this kid is celebrated as a hero.
Yes.
I've seen videos of him at bars taking pictures with people.
Yeah.
Why weren't you crying from PTSD then?
Yeah.
But instead you get up on the stand when you realize you might have to face the consequences for your actions.
Yeah.
But that year when you got out on bail because some fucking evangelical organization raised $2 million for you,
Yeah.
you just get to enjoy. You get to go and be celebrated as a hero.
Yeah.
When he walks, I can't wait to see him at the RNC.
Oh my God.
In 24.
No, like he's gonna like run for senator one day and win.
And he'll win.
Yeah.
1,000%. He already has fans.
Meanwhile, people like Michael Reinhold, also a murderer, killed somebody out in the street.
Which is not, like, we don't condone that.
No, not at all. Never gets to face trial. But Kyle Rittenhouse does, and he's celebrated as a hero. And Michael Reinhold is a terrorist who is now dead.
Crazy.
Extrajudicially murdered.
Crazy.
You can't tell me the criminal justice system isn't skewed in either way. You can't say that. Kyle Rittenhouse is he gets to face trial, he gets to face a jury, and he's probably going to get away with everything that he did. Michael Reinhold's in the fucking grave. How is this system equal in any way?
It's not.
It supports conservatives. And the people complaining about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, like all the conservatives saying like he's not being treated fairly, the media's like berating him. It's such an intensely privileged thing to say.
Oh, yeah.
When the entire criminal justice system is skewed in your favor and you still find a way to complain.
I'm sure no conservatives were saying that when OJ was on trial.
Yeah. No, actually. This just engage condones OJ Simpson's actions.
Whoa.
Anyway, let's talk about the judge. I think we got to
talk about the judge and the prosecution.
So the prosecution's been struggling a lot, I think. And a lot of people have said that they're like giving a subpar performance. I think they've been like fine.
I think they kind of suck, low key.
They're not great, but I think they've been fine. But the judge has been helping the defense quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
One example, like Gage mentioned, is like when Kyle Rittenhouse started crying on the stand, the judge immediately took a recess.
Yep.
Which, like, I guess maybe it was necessary to like collect himself, but it was very clearly a performance. Like, dude, like looked at the judge, looked at the crowd, like, come on, bro.
And it's like, even if it wasn't, like, I don't know, bro. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The judges consistently cut the prosecution off during lines of questioning, in a variety of different ways. Like it's the judge is just incredibly biased.
Specifically, there was this one part where the prosecutor was asking Kyle about like different types of ammo, specifically the type of ammo that was loaded into the AR-15 he used that night.
Yeah.
In this line of questioning, he asked if Kyle knew about the capabilities of the full metal jacket that was loaded in his gun versus a hollow point round.
Yeah.
Kyle says he doesn't know anything about ammo, like a couple different times, and then the prosecutor responds by telling him that a full metal jacket is designed to go through targets, possibly to hit another target, whereas hollow points are designed to expand within a single target. Actually, no, I literally remember this because it's one of the parts of the trial I watched firsthand. He said explode within a target, and the judge interrupts and says, well, actually, explode or expand, two different things. There are like types of ammo that explode, which, I mean, that didn't like get me going initially.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, that seems like a fair interruption. Seems like a fair clarification, but it gets worse. It gets worse. The prosecutor then elaborates and says that a lot of people who are using their guns will use a hollow point for self-defense purposes because of this, because it expands and it's not designed to go into multiple targets.
Yeah.
He pointed out that Grosskreutz, I'm pretty sure Grosskreutz is the one that survived. Am I right?
I don't remember which one survived.
Fuck, I'm probably butchering it.
One of them.
The guy that survived, I think it's Grosskreutz. Oh, fuck. You know what?
What? Is it not?
I might have fumbled the bag here.
We'll just go nameless.
We're going nameless throughout this. The one that survived had hollow points loaded into his revolver.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a whatever fact, but it's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's interesting the intention behind that. And so the judge then interrupts him and says, hollow points don't always stop when they go through.
Okay, dog. Sure.
This is needless minutia.
Yeah.
You don't need to interrupt for that. How is that imprinting on the jury?
When you're loading a gun, it's not about like what the bullets might do. It's what they're designed to do.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
the point.
Exactly.
That's literally the point of like doing anything beforehand. Like
What
that's a
the
life
judge
truth.
is essentially doing is just disqualifying this line of questioning in the jury's mind.
And he did that a lot.
Oh my God, the whole fucking trial.
Yeah.
He just answered for Kyle. He dodged the question for him.
Yeah.
The point of that line of questioning is to show that Kyle did not know what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
He was not trained enough to be doing something like this.
Yeah.
And now it's just thrown out the window because of this dipshit.
Yeah, but Kyle Rittenhouse is the fucking victim here. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
literally.
mean, because that's what the media is painting him as. At least the conservative media is treating him as if he's the victim.
It's not even that. It's ABC. It's ABC and the liberal media feeding into that too.
Mm-hmm.
Only showing the videos of him crying.
Yeah.
That's it.
And he's not even crying.
Tears aren't even coming out.
Bro's just breathing heavy.
He's dry heaving. Not even. I
Yeah.
could put on a better performance.
Yeah. Straight up, bro. Put me on the stand. Let me testify.
God damn. But then there's another part where Drew Hernandez is on the stand
my
being
God.
questioned by the prosecutor.
Yeah.
Drew Hernandez is a quote unquote journalist, and I say that loosely,
Okay.
who traveled to Kenosha to document the protests, and in doing so, he got some videos of Kyle.
Ooh, naturally.
So he was on the stand, right? After some initial questioning, the prosecution begins to probe into Drew's bias, right? Because like journalists, like, you want to see something like that. And the whole time Drew was being questioned, he was responding with really charged language and would only refer to the protesters as Antifa and BLM. He'd be like, well, Antifa and BLM were lighting the trash can on fire and pushing it into cars.
Okay, so let me kill this person.
Literally. Literally. And it's like crazy that the judge let that stand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's very charged. Words like Antifa carry a specific connotation in regular people's mind.
Yeah. And here's a larger critique when it comes to like they're lighting trash cans on fire. Why is it always that property damage can lead to death, but deaths at the hand of the police cannot lead to property damage?
Facts.
Like why is it?
Facts.
And this is just like the capitalist framework, is that property matters more than human lives do. You can kill a person as a cop or even as Kyle Rittenhouse and be fine. But if you destroy property, you're going to be marked as a target. Or if you're on the left of the political spectrum and you're interacting with conservatives that are trying to protect property, or you kill a conservative that's trying to protect property, you're going to be extrajudicially killed by the police and federal agents. Like that's
actually ridiculous.
That's capitalism. It's an appendage of capitalism. That's what the state does.
Facts. That's what the state does, and that's what the police do by extension.
Yeah.
And so anyway, there's one point where this guy was just being fucking difficult. Drew was just being difficult. He wasn't really answering questions. You know what I mean? He was giving lip back to the prosecutor, which was like, what the fuck are you doing, dog? And he just looked like, had a smug fucking like conservative look to him the whole time.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
You know what I mean?
The natural look, yeah.
Exactly. And the prosecutor shook his head in frustration. He went like,
Yeah.
like something that any fucking normal
A
human
human
would do.
reaction.
Yeah. And the judge fucking snapped at him and yelled at him like, don't you ever do that to the witness. Yeah.
Protecting him like his own fucking child.
Bro probably subscribes to Drew's YouTube channel, which we're going to get into now. So the prosecution then asked Drew how he gets paid from his work, and he mentioned his far-right YouTube channel, his website, and Real America Speaks. I'm going to let you guess like what kind of website Real America Speaks is.
Based off the syntax there, I'm sure you can deduce what kind of website that's going to be.
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's really not. And this website picked him up shortly after his original reporting of this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I wonder what kind of bias is here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
But it's an apolitical body.
Completely apolitical.
Sorry.
Completely
We just have to
apolitical
clarify it's an apolitical
Exactly.
body. Unbiased.
The prosecutor then began to ask about not his political leanings, about the political leanings of the organization, and the defense objects. Asking for relevance. And so the judge is like, okay, what's the relevance of this? The prosecution says that it speaks to the bias of the witness, which is very fucking true.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know?
If you work for a news outlet and it has a political leaning, you're like, naturally you'll probably have that same political. I mean, that's just true. It's like when people say like, oh, CNN is biased. It's like, yeah, it's a liberal news organization.
Exactly.
Of course,
it's going to carry a liberal bias. It's going to report news through a liberal lens.
Exactly.
He is going to report news through a far right lens. He is going to answer these questions through a far right lens, as he has already demonstrated.
You're right. You're going to testify to a court on a case that is highly publicized in a partisan way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's an apolitical body.
Yeah, it's completely apolitical testimony as well.
Body.
So then the prosecutor, oh, no. Then the judge replies with something along the lines of, that has no relevance. This isn't a political trial.
Oh, that's what I said.
Yeah. Isn't that just wonderful?
It's not a political trial. The case wasn't political to begin with.
Yeah. What if I was on the stand and they asked me if I had about my podcast, or the leanings of your podcast, and I said leftist, I'd be thrown out immediately.
You'd probably be extrajudicially murdered.
Yeah, on the spot, right there on the witness stand.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
They'd probably kill you.
the bailiff, which
that is ridiculous. I mean, it's like Kyle Rittenhouse went to this state after a black man was brutalized by the police.
Yeah.
That's already political.
And it's like he's a counter protester too.
Yeah.
That's inherently political.
Yeah. No, but he was just there to provide medical supplies.
Yeah, he was just there to administer medical aid. Shut the fuck up, dude. You're a lifeguard.
He was just stuck in a bad situation through no fault of his own.
And he was like a lifeguard the year prior. His certificate was probably up.
Yeah. What does he know?
Exactly, bro. You know how to do CPR. Like, I remember when I did lifeguard training, like, I know this motherfucker didn't pay attention.
Mm-mm.
Nobody does.
Mm-mm.
Nobody does. Nobody really knows how to do that job.
And now he has 2 illegal kills.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So then that's literally just the shit that I caught live. Like, personally, like, I'd be scrolling through TikTok between class and the ABC News live feed would pop up.
Yeah.
And I'd stop and watch it
Mm-hmm.
for like a couple minutes in between classes.
Yeah.
That's what I personally witnessed.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what else happened.
I don't know. This trial's been going on for like over a week now.
Yes.
It's, oh my God.
It's actually ridiculous. And I've seen other shit like how the judge's phone went off during the trial playing a Trump rally song.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like,
and then the defense smiled.
Yeah.
Like, they know that they're getting away with this. Kyle
Come
Rittenhouse
on,
knows
dude.
that he's getting away with this.
It's so fucking stupid. It's
Yeah.
so fucking rigged.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker's name is Bruce.
Bruce? Oh my God. If you're a white Bruce, come on.
I'm telling you, like, I don't think there are Bruces that exist that aren't fucking racist, with the exception of the shark from Finding Nemo.
True.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, back to Rittenhouse, there was some other testimony that came out, like his text messages. Like, they
Yeah.
were reading off his text messages, and they had mentioned how he like was talking about how he just got back from cleaning graffiti off of some business
Oh
that's
my
like
God.
not his own.
Oh.
What a fucking narc thing to do.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
You should go to jail for that.
you're a fucking loser if you go out and think, I'm gonna clean up this graffiti on this business that I don't own or have any affiliation to.
That's street art, baby.
It literally, it's pretty.
It's pretty.
Graffiti is nice.
It makes the city look nice.
I love graffiti.
Yeah.
It's an art form. It's expression.
That shit's hard. I couldn't do it.
It's very hard.
I couldn't do it.
And it's just like, it's expression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's not expression to kill people, Kyle.
Facts, Kyle, you fucking narc as well.
Oh
A
my
murderer
God.
and a narc. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, dude's gonna walk.
Yeah.
Dude's gonna walk. But I guess my larger critique here is that in the face of like the protests that were happening over the summer of 2020, of which this was a part of, Black Lives Matter protesters were always treated as violent, radical terrorists that wanted to destroy America.
That's it.
But like, out of all of the Black Lives Matter protests, a vast majority were peaceful.
Out of the over 2,000 protests, I believe 7% quote unquote turned violent, but within that metric of turned violent, violence means any altercation.
And a lot of the altercations were instigated by outside actors like right-wing groups
And
or the police.
It's not even referring to that. I think it's referring to also any arrest that happened there.
Yeah.
It's not even actual violence.
Yeah.
I think less than 1% actually turned violent.
Yeah.
They always say that, oh, these guys burned cities down. What city was burned down?
Minneapolis is gone.
Minneapolis is gone. New York is gone.
Kenosha's gone.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not, because Kyle Rittenhouse was there to save the day.
Shut the fuck up. Like, a trash can got burned.
Yeah.
You fucking idiot.
A car got flipped, maybe.
A police precinct got burned. I'm pretty sure that's the worst that it got.
Yeah.
And a Target.
Mm-hmm.
But you think Target isn't happy that they get to remodel their store for free now?
Exactly. They didn't have to do any of that work.
Literally. Like, the only thing that you could really say is maybe the Minneapolis 6 police precinct.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, like, fuck them.
Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization, but Kyle Rittenhouse gets to cross the border and join a counter protest and kill 2 people, and he's called a fucking hero.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's what the narrative is.
Literally celebrated. He will literally be at the RNC, guys. Like, I'm not kidding.
Like, they literally treat BLM as like a terror cell.
I would put all the money that I've ever made my entire life on the fact that he will be at the RNC.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, if the people that stood outside during a Black Lives Matter protest with guns to protect their house are at the RNC,
They were there.
Kyle Rittenhouse is going to be at the RNC.
Aren't they also running for, like, office?
Oh, bro,
Within their state? I'm pretty sure they're running for, like,
it's
a small
so
office.
easy to run for office as a Republican.
All you got to do is be racist.
Yes, straight up.
That's it.
Just don't say the N-word or say it.
Facts.
Or
You could be fucking, oh, God, what's the motherfucker that died recently?
Got
Got shit burning in hell.
I don't know. I had no idea. Wait.
Radio guy, Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, Rush Limbaugh.
Rush Limbaugh.
I didn't
Bro
know that's who
literally
you were talking about.
said it.
Yeah.
Multiple times on his program.
And he's a hero to them.
And they love him.
Mm-hmm.
They love him.
Trump called Rush his friend all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the right wing praises Kyle Rittenhouse after killing 2 people. They call him a hero. They say he's a good person, a good kid. But like Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization for standing up against police brutality and being peaceful for like the vast majority of the protests.
I
when
hate
honestly,
so much, dog.
they would have been justified in like doing riots
because
the police kept killing black people.
That's it. That's all they were doing last year.
Yeah.
That's all they do in general.
Yeah. It's like you can't tell me for 1 second that the criminal justice system is not skewed in a certain direction. It's literally built to protect property and conservatives.
It's literally built to preserve and uphold the status quo.
Yeah.
And like I said last week or 2 weeks ago, the status quo is inherently conservative. It is inherently white supremacist, inherently racist, just all these bad things.
Yeah. And like the Rittenhouse trial, it's a microcosm of the entire criminal justice system disproportionately treating black and brown people worse than they treat white people.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, because and I hate to like do this kind of like, well, if roles were reversed, but like roles literally have been reversed.
Yeah, quite literally.
And if Kyle Rittenhouse was a Black Lives Matter protester, or if he was a black man in the street that did the same thing, he wouldn't have seen a trial.
See, the thing is, if Kyle Rittenhouse was a black man counter-protesting a white supremacist rally, and he went into the crowd to administer medical aid to somebody, and someone came up and hit him, and he shot and killed them, he had been executed.
Yeah.
Extrajudiciously.
If not by the mob, then the police would have done it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The police would have done it, and if they didn't, he'd spend the rest of his life in jail and probably get the death penalty.
And the Republicans would have been like, well, that was a peaceful protest. That wasn't racially motivated in any way.
They'd say, well, we got to be tough on crime.
Yeah.
When it's a black person.
And we literally don't even have to talk about hypotheticals because this stuff has happened.
Yeah, no, literally, you could pull up almost, without doing much research, you could pull up so many cases of this.
Yeah, or like, if you're just like, black man running, like you will get killed.
Yes.
Like you're not even at a counter protest.
Oh my God, Ahmaud Arbery?
Yes.
Yes, black man running, committing the crime of being black while jogging.
Exactly.
And then you find out in that case that the DA was actually working against the defense.
Exactly. Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah. I mean, and it's always things like, well, like when a black person is killed by like a group of white people, it's always like, well, they were smuggling drugs, or they were running away from a crime, or they did something bad, or they had a weapon on them, or they had a water gun and it was threatening to me.
Or you're a child and you have a BB gun in a park.
Yes.
Or you committed a crime 6 years ago and already served your time and got out.
Yeah, but when it's a situation like Kyle Rittenhouse, he's a hero.
Yeah.
And the people that were going after him were like violent terrorists.
Even if you are demonstrably a victim, through and through a fucking victim like Breonna Taylor, simply caught up in a mess that was not her fault, your character will be smeared by people like Candace Owens and any prominent figure on the right.
Yeah. But Kyle Rittenhouse is a good person in their eyes.
Yeah, but he's...
Yeah.
God,
and people will always bring up anecdotes. Like, you made a TikTok on this.
Yeah.
You always bring up anecdotes. So, like, X-black person didn't get killed for killing X-white person. And it's like, people bring up these anecdotes. And like you said, we can talk about anecdotes as much as we want, but it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
And the anecdotes don't matter. Or, like, the talking point that black people commit more crimes. And it's like, no. They make up more arrests and exonerations.
Exactly. And so you can't even take that. You can't even take, like, the racial narrative and expand it to, like, murder statistics anyway, because murder is crime by proximity.
Yeah. No, it always is. Yeah.
That's it. Gang violence doesn't affect you.
And it's motivated by poverty.
Yeah.
Like, we've known this for so long.
They love citing Chicago. I believe there was one point where COVID cases were low, and they're like, wow, more people are dying in Chicago than they are of COVID. It's like, yeah, that doesn't affect you, you fucking idiot. That's not it. Gang violence and shit like that is a pandemic in its own right, but it's a pandemic due to poverty. It's a pandemic due to the failure of policy, of liberal policy.
Yeah.
This COVID has been a failure of you. Yeah. It's been you being a fucking dickhead.
Yes,
and that's
exactly.
it. That's what that is.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, when and this is my final thoughts on all of this stuff, but when it comes to the criminal justice system, it's demonstrably true. Like, you can look at any statistics. Black Americans get punished worse, serve longer sentences, and make up a disproportionately larger chunk of the prison population.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, employs slave labor.
Yes.
So, like there is no evidence supporting the idea that somehow Kyle Rittenhouse is being treated worse by the criminal justice system because he interacted with the Black Lives Matter protest, riot, whatever. Like, there's no evidence to that.
Yeah, sure. Maybe some people on Twitter are bullying him. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm bullying him.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't fucking care.
But bullying does not make up for systemic advantages.
Yeah. Literally.
It like
literally
makes no difference.
Me calling you a shitter on a podcast does not make up for the fact that everything has been rigged to your benefit.
Exactly. The entire criminal justice system is just rigged to support people like Kyle Rittenhouse and uphold the status quo, like we said.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
I guess,
You got anything else on the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff?
No, I don't.
All right. I think it's time to move on to the protests in Poland.
Yeah, moving on to like a smaller story here. I say smaller because like I had to luck into finding this.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wanted to like bring awareness to it because it's kind of fucked up, you know what I mean? So basically, in October of last year, the Polish government instituted a near total abortion ban, with the only supposed exceptions being in the event that the pregnancy was the result of rape or the pregnancy threatens the mother's life. Like, keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I say supposedly because we all know that somehow rape is viewed very narrowly
Yeah.
in the eyes of like the general public. Most people view rape as like forceful penetration. That's it.
Yeah.
Most people have a horrible fucking just conservative view of what that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so who gets to determine like when it is a rape?
Yeah.
This is exacerbated by the fact that a lot of rapes go unreported.
Yeah.
Because there's a horrible stigma around it. At least here, I can't exactly speak to what's going on in Poland.
Oh, I guarantee it's similar.
But this is
I mean, if they have a law like this, definitely
exactly. But this is
similar.
my analysis of the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guarantee it's similar. Rapes go underreported everywhere. There's a horrible rape culture just in the world in general.
Like, police don't even test rape kids most of the time.
Exactly. So who really gets to determine whether or not this pregnancy resulted from rape? Does a doctor get to say, like,
Dudes, probably.
dudes? Yeah. Does there have to be a criminal conviction? Like, that's horribly restrictive. It shouldn't even be in place anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, and so that's not even the meat and potatoes of this story. The meat and potatoes is a 30-year-old woman died of sepsis because no doctor was willing to perform an abortion on her due to the ban.
What's sepsis?
Sepsis is essentially where, like, you get an infection and it spreads to like your whole body, but worse, and it'll kill you. Like,
Okay.
it's a very bad disease.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she died of sepsis because of her pregnancy,
Yeah.
which is something that can happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's cause for many abortions,
Yeah.
you know?
Naturally.
Great. Shout out to them,
Yeah.
you know? And so the Polish government had to issue a statement saying that doctors should absolutely perform abortions in situations like this. But what I have to say to that is that shouldn't fucking matter. Because the ban shouldn't be there in the first place.
Yeah.
And if the ban absolutely had to be there, which it doesn't, just say for the sake of argument, then it needs to be expressly written that a doctor has the final say in any, like, medical need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If your laws is written so poorly that doctors are scared to perform a life-saving surgery,
Yeah, because they could like be criminally punished.
then that's fucked up. It's already fucked up that there's an abortion ban. Like, I cannot stress that enough.
Yeah, no, we're talking in the context of a terrible abortion ban, by the way.
Yeah, like within this, if this has to be accepted, it's
Yeah.
already like horrible. And there should be mass protests because of this.
And there is, isn't there?
Yeah, oh yeah, protests all over the country for this.
Good.
But I'm saying there should be protests everywhere else too.
Yeah.
There should be protests here as well. Like, it's horribly fucking restrictive. And I just wanted to bring awareness to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my last point is like that I wanted to bring up regarding this is that policy is written in very explicit ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially policies like this. They're written very explicitly, but they are implemented implicitly.
Yeah.
No policy is ever implemented exactly as written.
Yeah.
And that shit just like, you know,
Yeah, it's
You need to
overseen by government bureaucracies and agencies and stuff.
that needs to be taken in consideration when you do anything.
Yeah.
And things like this, again, should never happen.
Yeah.
But why is it that doctors are so afraid to do these things? Why is it like she had sepsis for a while,
Yeah.
but the doctors were waiting for the fetus to die before they took it out? What the fuck is up with that?
I don't know. It's ridiculous because like we've talked about this before, especially when the stuff came up with Texas and the abortion ban that the Texas legislature passed back like a couple of months ago. And it's an issue of, do you want the state to be able to control a bodily function of a woman.
Yeah.
That is what the issue is. And for all these libertarians that always talk about like, oh, we want a small state, small government this, small government that. You don't want small government. The government that they want, the libertarians want, that advocate for abortion bans, is massive and hulking and controlling over people's lives.
Exactly.
But it benefits them.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the kind of government that they want. They want a government that perpetuates wealth inequality because it benefits them, doesn't allow transgender people to exist, doesn't allow abortions to happen, outlaws anything that they don't like, but protects their interests.
Yeah.
The government they want isn't small. It's ginormous, but it's just a force of coercion against the forces that they want to deny existence in society. And that's exactly what the abortion ban here is.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Like, it is an issue of, do you want the state to be able to control people's bodies?
Yeah.
Like, that's a terrifying thought.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Stay away.
And look what happens when the state is able to do that.
People die needlessly.
People literally die. And the child probably died too, right?
Oh, yeah. The ban is there to supposedly save the child's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Supposedly.
Yeah.
But in this instance, it just took one needlessly.
Yeah.
It took an extra life needlessly.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking stupid, bro. In conclusion, if you're pro-life, fuck you.
Yeah, you're bad.
Yeah.
You're literally dumb.
You're literally bad. But if you're not, if you're pro-choice based, head in the office listener.
We've been told we got the best takes.
Exactly.
We've literally been
factual
told.
takes as well. That's crazy.
We have factual takes. They're always backed up with information, apparently.
Exactly, bro. What can I say?
And we got independent fact checkers checking us out.
That's right, baby.
Conservatives can't hate on these fact
Get
checkers.
Snopes on the pod.
True.
Get Snopes on the pod.
Anyway, if you hate abortion too, check out the pod on Patreon.
Yeah,
oh wait, no, wait, I said that wrong. If you hate pro-lifers, not abortions.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Cut that out. Let me run that one back. Let me run that one back.
Yeah.
If you support abortion rights,
if you are pro-choice,
you support abortion rights. Check out the pod on our various platforms. Check us out on Patreon, YouTube, TikTok. All the social media. I want to let you all know that next week we're gonna do a little holiday special. We got a special episode planned. You'll see what it looks like, but we're thinking the basic structure is like, we'll get into the news a little bit, but then we'll talk about some like tips for combating your conservative family members for the upcoming holiday season.
With Thanksgiving coming up, like
if you celebrate,
rearing its head, if you're celebrating Thanksgiving and with just the holiday season, right around the corner, right here, some would say.
Oh, true. You're
going to be seeing your family a lot.
Exactly.
That's going to be daunting.
Exactly.
And
I guarantee you got at least one family member that's going to bring up something political. Maybe an abortion ban. Maybe your conservative uncle will say that he wants an abortion ban, and you'll need to know how to accurately defend against these talking points.
And then you, being the base head in the office listener that you are, can cite the Poland protests.
Exactly.
Come on now.
You know what? How about you share the pod around, share it with your dad, share the pod with your mom, share the pod with your uncle.
Share the pod on YouTube with all your conservative, like any conservative so that they can comment hateful things on the YouTube and boost us.
Exactly. Share the pod with people. Get your conservative family members listening to it. Get your conservative brother who's thinking about traveling to Kenosha. Get him on. Get him listening to the pod before he makes a terrible mistake and gets away with bad things. And thank you all for listening. We appreciate you for listening to this episode. But we got to give our special thanks, as always.
You always know.
At the end of our episode. So we got to give a special thanks to Cricket Scrapbook Layouts, Nikki Nine Lives, Caden Kraut, Terrence Nicholson, Chris the Postman, Christy Beck, and my mom for supporting the show on Patreon. Like we always say, if you want to be amongst this group of people, check out the pod on Patreon. You can get your name in there.
Group of people.
We got big things coming for the pod, y'all. So stay tuned.
Big things. If you couldn't tell, we got new lights and shit.
Thanks. If you're watching, through the exclusive access on Patreon, that is
exactly.
Thanks for listening, y'all.
Have a good one.